So thank you very much for talking to me around your professional learning as you go through your GP1 program in Hamilton, is that right?
Yep.
Excellent. Okay, so I'm really interested in how you interact with others on the GP course. What does that look like?
So we're all a pretty tight-knit group. You know, we've got a bunch of us at completely different stages of our learning and training. You've got me and a few others who have come straight out of being a house officer at the hospital. You've got a fully qualified surgeon. You've got a bunch of ED doctors. You've got a real good mix of people, and we all sort of click together quite well. So we all come together on a Wednesday and spend the day with each other, but we're also generally social events that are organised that happen, you know, every once in a while on a bit of a Friday, or at events like this we all tend to bump into each other and catch up.
So do you think that sort of community feel and knowing each other makes you feel a little bit more safe in terms of talking about new learning or things perhaps that you aren't as sure of as you might like?
Yeah, for sure. So it's probably a different sort of cohesiveness compared to what you get in the hospital, where you're sort of bound together against everything that's going on around you. Whereas in sort of general practice training, you're all helping each other out, pointing out things that, you know, when we're doing, you know, practice for exams and stuff, things that could be done better, simple, you know, different ideas like that. So yeah, it's a very good group that get along very, very well. It'll sort of help to try and push each other along rather than sort of an us against them type feel that you sometimes get elsewhere.
Well, it is a collegial profession, of course. So how do you then work with others to secure your learning and to make sure that you're on the right track? What does that look like?
So I suppose in our Wednesday sessions, for the first half of it, it's sort of we have someone come and speak to us, and then for the second half of it, it's generally we're broken down into sort of smaller groups, and then often break down into even smaller groups, into sort of 2 or 3 of us, and practice different role plays, different scenarios, different ways of explaining conditions, treatment, that sort of stuff to patients.
Is that something you think would be useful to revisit in an ongoing fashion, that kind of approach?
Possibly. It's probably hard for me to answer that. So for us at the moment, we're still learning the skills to communicate effectively and to, you know, learning how to manage certain conditions, where there's potentially, once you already know how to explain these sort of things to patients and know how to manage certain conditions, you're probably doing it on a routine basis. And yes and no, I suppose. I probably can't answer that at this point because I don't know sort of where we go from there.
Fine. So what makes a really good learning opportunity for you, though? What does that look like?
So a safe environment where everyone sort of gets on, everyone's trying to help each other out and trying to sort of, you know, push each other along at the same time, sort of thing as well. Good practical level, you know, knowledge that's directed at our level. So for example, for our teachings on a Wednesday morning, often, and don't quote me on this, but often the GPs that come in and teach us about a specific topic are actually better than the specialists that are specialists in that area that come in and teach us about that specific topic.
Says a lot about the profession, and I won't quote you on it, but you are on camera.
Yeah, exactly.
So in terms of cementing learning, like how do you go about evaluating how well your learning is going and how you cement that learning? What does that look like?
I suppose a lot of it more is sort of self-reflection on it. Sort of, you know, you've learnt something on Wednesdays, or you've learnt something in your own readings, and then you see someone with the thing that you've learnt about, and either you remember it or you don't.
Is follow-up important, though?
Yes, very important. Yes.
So you would say that one of the most crucial aspects then of learning is when you can follow that up either on an individual group basis. For example, you talk through something you might have been exposed to, or a case or something.
Yes, correct, exactly. You know, and often when you're a little bit unclear about what was going on, it's often good to bounce ideas off other people, and yeah, for sure. And then actually following it through. So seeing that person again, and you know, in 2 weeks or 4 weeks, and seeing, you know, what happened or what changed or what you did well, or you know, what could have been improved upon. So,
great.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome.
Appreciate your time.
No worries.
Thanks.